Good morning, Embody. It's me, Carrie Muchaw, back again. I believe one of the posts that I put this, I'm having this memory of my post being right here in the park with my gratitude shirt on, with my grateful shirt on, and speaking into receiving. And here I am speaking into receiving level two. It's upgrade among upgrade among upgrade, and I choose to share how powerful receiving is that as I stepped into receiving, I've had so many things show up for me. And if you've ever heard about mirrors, I mean, people always say, oh, there's mirrors all around me, people speaking into things, and you're like, oh, they're my mirrors, they're my mirrors, they're my mirrors. And in pure speech, we call them our thought forms. And when we really start to step into something, a new transformation of what we've been holding on to, we will be seeing our thought forms change into our greatness around us. It will be the energy of our movement popping up around us. It'll no longer be your little self that, for example, was I receiving fully? No. So I had people showing up in all different kinds of forms, neediness, etc. Okay, I'm gonna laugh because I also know that everything that happens around us happens, happens for a reason. We all say that. People say that all the time. Things happen for a reason. Yes, but that one thing, there's no reason behind that. That's just a little coincidence. So the bus just drove by, and I believe that my divine higher power, my God in me, everything has a reason. And I jumped on here to speak into receiving and how I was receiving. And the story is of my son. And so the bus goes by. And I have three sons, and you may have heard me speak about each one of them and the moment of receiving. And my third son is 13, and he's had a hamstring issue for over a year that seems to be what the world calls chronic. Keeps coming back, keeps coming back, keeps coming back. And what I know is that things that keep coming back, they have meaning. Because God created our body, and I enjoy believing it's my signal. And if I've missed the signals that go by, I know my God gives me more than one. And when it shows up in my body, it becomes louder, and it means stop everything and let's pay attention. So in this pain of his hamstring for over a year, I began stepping into receiving, and he has yet to ask me and yet to be interested in translations of your body. And he suddenly started asking me. He started asking me, what does this mean? 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 And he began to ask me the history behind how I knew all this information. And then I shared with him that Robert Stevens found a study on the Hopi Indian tribe with the words that live in the now. And he began to use and teach the words in the now instead of words that are in the future, ing words, wanting, needing, and these things. And then as he began to teach them, he began to watch how people would touch their body as they begin to embody them and where it was found in your body. So I'm sharing these things with him, and then we're going to the doctor, and he's been asking for several weeks about everything else. And the doctors are yet to discover his hamstring. We've been to several different doctors, and this is not a call out for people to post for me your recommendation on a doctor, because it's more than that, and that's where we are. And I am so grateful that we were in the car together, and I said to him, son, you've asked me so many signals, and it's been a year, and you've yet to ask me about your hamstring. Do you desire to know more about your hamstring? And he said, oh, yes. And I began to ask him questions about support. And did a little bit of questions, gave him a decree. We moved along. And then yesterday he came home and he sat down and he said, my hamstring's hurting. And I said, has it hurt for you to move forward in life? He said, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I mean, keep in mind, he's 13. I said, okay, it's okay, it's okay. And I said, I had him stay with himself and just say, I feel. And there he's texting me right now. And as I did, he began to come into his feeling, and I began to speak to him about support. And I gave him examples because my DNA has support on board. We're here upgrading DNA in my family. And I recognized that as I was stepping into receiving my support, here he was coming to me to receive support, asking how he could receive more. And I stayed with him and asked him questions. It was so powerful because in one moment, he was embodying God in me can. And I said, how do you feel? And he started to tell me again that he wasn't feeling anything. And then he touched his chest and he said, oh, right here, I feel something. I feel something happening. I said, yes, you're expanding. And that's the energy of creating something new. That's God in you. And that's where you find movement going forward. That's where you remember you can love going forward. In this moment with him, he was believing that it hurt to move forward, and he was scared that his hamstring was going to stop him from playing football, which is what he loves in life. He said, playing with my friends, going out, making it easy. It's stopping me from everything. And this morning, I got on and I listened to my own mini series. The one that Andrea and I just recorded. And the first thing it spoke into was our knots. And we started speaking into our bodies and what messages we were finding inside of our bodies. And I remembered that was the moment when I recorded that I had a not receiving going on and that I was trying really hard to receive. And my son has been trying really hard for his hamstring to be better. And he was really frustrated. And I sat with him also, and we talked about loving how you're feeling. Because if you can love your experience, then you can transform it. Because remember, the things inside of our body they're like very small children. They're asking to be loved. And when we can love any experience, and yes, that's right, it may seem like a really big thing, but when you love any experience, that is the moment of transformation. Then you can see what it is, and it lessens the power. It's like, oh, it's not a big deal. I said to him, do you imagine instead of walking around telling me this hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, that you could say, Mom, I'm feeling my leg, and I remember it's my support. How would it be if you recognized it was your support and you had even more support just by recognizing it was support and loving it? He was like, oh my gosh, Mom, that'd be so great. So it was this magical moment with my son that I was able to have that under knots and not allowing receiving or slowing down to see, I would have missed it. And I would have had another opportunity because I know God in me has multiple opportunities. So I'm jumping on to share with you my massive movement in receiving and how there's more. And just because I spoke into receiving 2 weeks ago, doesn't mean I've experienced all of it. It means I'm here to receive more every single day. And the more I do it, my family feels it, they step into it, and they receive it. So happy Monday. I empower you to just say to yourself, I willingly receive. And I give myself permission to receive. And see what happens. Our mini-series is phenomenal. 5 audios. if you're interested, put a message underneath of this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post the link for payment. We have a payment on PayPal. It's only $55, and it's 5 days that you listen. Walk and listen, drive and listen, vacuum and listen. So powerful. And it's amazing for me to wake up and listen to myself and get something new even from what I said. That's the magic of pure speech. Have a great day. Happy Monday. Grateful for all of you.